Here's a little bit of background that pertains to my tale. My dabbling in perception-altering substances have been few and rather far between, consisting of 6 MDMA experiences and 1 rather unsettling LSD trip. I drink and smoke weed when the occasion permits, but not at levels that seriously alter my reality. The main thing to bear in mind, dear reader, is that prior to the story that is about to unfold, I was a very depressed individual. I suffered from severe self-esteem problems mostly centering around poor body image, and it had been interfering in my daily life for many years. With the aid of this wonderful empathogen, I was able to permanently change the way I perceive myself and the world, and consequently have been far happier in my life since this occurred. Read on. One night I had the wonderful good luck to run across 2 capsules of pure MDMA 135 mg a piece of the good stuff, straight from the chemist, not cut with speed or anything else the way your average tablet of Street E is. The 2 friends, D and J, I was with that night decided that it would be a good time for them to roll for the first time. D had a capsule of the same stuff I did, and J had a tablet of Street E that was known to be strong but speedy. I agreed to roll with them, and sort of babysit them through the experience. In the past I'd never needed to take more than 1 tablet of E, approximately 125 mgs of MDMA, to really feel it, so I thought that one of these capsules would work just fine. I passed out a multivitamin to my trip companions because I've found the magnesium in them stops jaw clench and eye jitters, and the vitamin C is good for you smiley face. I took 400 mg of Advil for a headache, but I doubt that impacted my experience at all. 9:30 p.m. down the hatch. We all down our respective pills with a grin and set off for a friend's house to relax and wait for them to hit. 10 o'clock Jay's E hits him suddenly, rocketing him to the peak almost instantly. His eyes are jittering around from the speediness of his tablet, but he's in heaven playing with ice cubes and hugging. 10:30 D and I are barely feeling the twinges of the come on, but he's feeling it more than I am. 10:45 D beginning to come up noticeably. I'm still not really feeling it, and grow suspicious. Was I cheated by the dealer? It's never taken this long for MDMA to affect me before. 11 o'clock I lose my patience and take the second capsule, wanting to be at the same level as my companions. 11:15-ish time sort of gets lost around here. The come up I was feeling keeps growing and growing, sort of like a psychedelic snowball rolling down a mountain. I don't feel the sharp peak of Street E, but rather this incredibly gentle but utterly irresistible wave of enhanced perception and sensation. I feel briefly guilty as I realize that D and J, who I'm supposed to be caring for, are supporting me between them as my head rolls around on my shoulders. They're engaged in deep conversation while I'm past the ability to verbalize and instead just lost in the tactile aspect of the drug. I spend a good 3 hours floating in the grips of a very powerful plateau, peak, cuddling with my friends and silently absorbing their conversations, thrilled to know that they are getting something very meaningful out of this experience even if their trip sitter has melted into little more than a human pillow grin. By the time I'm down enough to talk, they're both on the sleepy part of their come downs, and so just sit smiling as I jabber and laugh to them about all the things that have occurred to me during the roll. After a lengthy and very uplifting conversation with them, we part ways and I return home, still way above baseline. At home I catch a glimpse of myself in my mirror, and this catalyzes some reaction deep inside of me. In my heightened state I see, for the first time, my own beauty. Trivial though it sounds, it was a mind-shattering realization for me, considering in the past mirrors had literally brought me to tears. In my previous experiences with MDMA I had always been struck with the exquisite beauty of my friends and surroundings, but I had never seen myself through that perceptual lens. I spend a good 2 hours writing down my personal revelations about myself while looking into a mirror, giggling and smiling ear to ear in sheer delight. I finally fall asleep sometime before dawn, exhausted and ecstatic, and still nowhere near sober. Although my pupils had returned to their normal size, my pupils become extremely dilated while I'm under the influence of MDMA, and I wasn't feeling the physical roll of the MDMA. I was still very affected by it until late afternoon, early evening the next day. I was quiet and subdued, but in the same state of heightened empathy I usually only experience during the peak of a roll. That night I finally returned to baseline, but with a wonderful feeling of peace with myself. It has been over a week since this experience, and I still retain that wonderful sense of inner calm. My reflection greets me with a sly, almost mischievous smile now instead of a disparaging look of disgust, and the world seems a little brighter. I don't advocate looking for peace in a pill, and in fact I don't think that was where I really found it. But I do think everyone should be aware of the amazing effects that empathogens can have upon one's mind when the time is ripe for a change in how you view yourself and the world. Blessed be.